I don't like sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it's irritating and it gets everywhere. And those goddamn sandworms, what's up with that?
Too much. They're doing way too much.
Like, sand's not my thing, but, like, it's the worms for me.
Yeah, It's a lot to handle, honestly. It's really overwhelming.
Have you seen the new Dune trailer where he be riding that worm?
That was half of the trailer.
I loved
half
it.
Half of the trailer was just him, like, mounting this worm.
I didn't care.
I have a lot to say about him in this movie in general, so...
She riding on my sandworm till I Dune? No. Fuck, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'll end the podcast here. Bye, everyone. It was nice talking about Dune with you. But, hi, this is our podcast. It's called The Swamp. It's an acronym.
Stands for some whack-ass movie podcasting.
And we're here today to talk about the movie Dune, not the David Lynch one, but the one that came out in 2021. Denis Villeneuve. I was reading it in my head as Denis Villeneuve in my head, which is just not right. Like, that's just objectively very wrong.
That's, like, also how I say it in my head. I just don't want to sound stupid.
Denis Villeneuve. Denis Villeneuve. I looked up one of those little pronunciation guides. But we're doing listener-suggested movie month, and I'm control F-ing to see who suggested
Where's our Dune bitch? Who are you? Show yourself.
Evie Cornin. Did this person also recommend something else we covered this month? I have literally, I think the same person has suggested Dune 3 times, and that's why I marked it that 3. It's been, Evie
You've been persistent, and I respect you.
I love that. They also suggested we cover La La Land this month. Double dipping, Evie, but here for you, and here to talk about Dune. It's a little bit timely, I'm going to say, because they just announced that they might push back the second movie to 2024 because it's supposed to come out November of this year.
But the strike.
But because of the strike, it was like Dune, The Color Purple, and like another big one that they are like the big 3 that they're like really considering pushing just like a full calendar year, which I will be upset because I want to see them, but obviously I support people getting paid a living wage more than I care about seeing a movie. Obviously.
Exactly.
But so we'll have to see how all that shakes down. It's wild if you look at like what the like things that they're fighting for are that just keep getting like denied. It's like 10-minute breaks. Like it's like literal like still inhumane. Like it's still inhumane working conditions that they're fighting for, and they just keep getting denied on it. And all the things I'm seeing actors talk about, like residuals, like being paid like
they get 3 cents.
Like 3 cents. You know, they're like, I can't even cash this check. Like a bank won't even take this, which is just ridiculous. But we're here to just talk about Dune Part 1. When did you see this? Because I saw it the day it came out. It was in that COVID time where all movies that were in theaters also just immediately got put on streaming. Like, there was no delay. Like, I feel like now it's way earlier than it used to be, but there's still, like, you know, a limit, like a theaters only, like, period. I feel like in 2021, it was borderline, like, offensive to not just put your shit on streaming because, like, COVID numbers were literally still rising. So they're like, we can't ask you to come to the theaters, but it's in the theaters. But also, if that does not make you comfortable, just watch it on HBO. And I remember Henry and I, the day it came out, we watched it on HBO. And we started it at, like, 10 p.m. And I definitely fell asleep. And I definitely was like, I want to be engaged by this, but I'm not. And then I went and saw it in the theater. And I was like, oh, my God, this is amazing. Like, how it was, like, definitely very different to see it in a theater, and like it's just like a bummer that you can't always get that experience because like that's how this movie's fucking meant to be watched. Like watching it on my TV at home, I was like, damn, I wish this was bigger. You watch it on a computer and I'm like, that's fucking criminal. Like they shouldn't even let you stream this movie on a screen smaller than like that's not the point of movies, but it just...
but anyways. Yeah, so I had watched this for the first time probably 2 months ago.
That's wild.
So March of, like, 2023. And I just rewatched it, of course, for this. It is one of the... Especially, we just saw Oppenheimer yesterday. And it is definitely one of those movies where I'm like, I'm really glad that I got to see this on a ginormous screen. And this is... after watching it, probably before watching it too, from what I knew about it and from what I had seen, I always kind of regretted not seeing it in the theater, but at the same time, it was, like you said, it was in that weird time period, and I also just didn't have, like, I don't know, it didn't really capture me in the way that I was, like, gonna go pay $12 for a ticket and then $12 for popcorn, you know what I mean?
I was
like,
hyped as fuck about it, I remember. I was so excited because...
Well, you're a Timmy girl.
I'm a Timmy girl. I'm gonna get more into... We just talked about him in... What did we talk about him in? That I was saying, is he a good actor or not? Did we just cover a Timothée Chalamet movie? And I was like, is he a good actor or is he not? I think it was... Oh, it was...
Were we just talking about Wonka?
I maybe we brought it up that his performance in the Wonka trailer has given me the ick, and I just don't. I can't even look at him anymore. But I just think he has been like fortunate to have worked with really good directors who know how to tell him what to do. Like Greta Gerwig knew how to tell Timmy to act a certain way, and that's why I think he's really good in that movie. I think he's okay in this because I think he was given really good direction, but. Paul Atreides is also supposed to be kind of boring. He's just supposed to be kind of like, in my opinion.
He can be boring, and he can be like kind of little, but he can't be a twink. Because here's my thing. I'm just going to jump right into it. Because I really don't want to recap this, honestly.
It's a lot.
If you haven't seen Dune.
It's a lot of like... world building as far as like it's a sci-fi novel and so you do have to pay attention to a lot of details, and it's about like different like houses. It's very like Game of Thrones, like different houses within this like empire who are all like fighting for political control, and like the whole thing is basically like they're fracking that's like it. They're fracking.
Yes, it's I'll give you the fastest one I can do and try not to get sucked into the weeds, but essentially House Arrakis is where little Timmy, his Daddy Oscar Isaac is the Count of House
Atreides.
Atreides. House Atreides. And then they go and they get sent by the Emperor to go frack on this desert planet called Arrakis and to just get all their resource spice, which is kind of this... It's a drug, it's fuel, it's anything and everything you could ever want.
Yeah,
basically.
It's really important because they can't do like interplanetary space travel without spice.
Without it.
So it's like it's oil. It's fucking oil.
It's oil.
But it's also medicine and it's also drugs.
Yeah, exactly. So House Atreides is like, okay, let's go over here and try and frack because the Emperor said we have to. And the Harkonnens, who are another big, powerful house, just got kicked off of Atreides.
Arrakis.
Arrakis. Oh my god. Just got kicked off of Arrakis. And they were committing like mass genocide to the Fremen, who are the indigenous people who live there. And they're pissed because they want all of their money and all of their power. And they said, I love fracking. What are you doing? So essentially the Emperor just decided to fuck House Atreides and kind of went and was like, yo, Harkonnens, go ahead, go fuck them up. I want these people gone. You can go, and I'm going to send them there, and then you guys can double back and fucking destroy them. And they say, okay, bet. They go, destroy them. Paul and his mother, who was basically like this space witch, kind of like get like tossed into the desert to die.
She has pussy magic. The Bene Gesserit literally use pussy magic.
Pussy magic, yeah. That's the most realistic thing in this movie.
So true.
So they get like sent into the desert. Mind you, Paul is like basically Jesus Christ. Paul is like he wasn't supposed to be like born because the Bene Gesserit can only have daughters, but his mom was like, I'm gonna do it anyways. And then so he's like literally Christ, and he's gonna like free the Femen and like give them back their land, and free them, essentially.
He's gonna white savior the fuck out of this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
In a self-aware way, that's not like a critique on the movie. I think if you describe Dune as being a white savior story, you're like, have no fucking media literacy. I was reading some reviews on Letterboxd, which are mostly positive, but some people being like, white savior film. I'm like, we're not supposed to agree with what Paul is doing. Like, he is supposed to be a colonizer-ass, like, imperial motherfucker who thinks he's doing the right thing, but is, like, contributing to So the movie opens up with fucking Zendaya saying, like, who are our next colonizers gonna be? And then it cuts to a fucking close-up of Timothée Chalamet. Like, that's the point.
The movie basically goes, Paul and his mom kind of, like, find the Fremen, and they're like, we're not convinced, but some of us think that you're God, and, like, some of us think you're bullshit, so I guess you can come hang out with us and, like, learn our ways. And that's the movie. Yeah. And it's bare bones.
Yeah, a lot of, like, political detail thrown in there. And I will say the one thing that I will correct you on is it's a lot of it is so subtle, and I really only know a lot of it because I've, like, read the Wikipedia summary, or I'm, like, confused during the movie, so I read the, like, broken down plot summary while I'm watching the movie because I need to know who everyone is. And also, all of my brother-in-laws are, like, Dune heads. They're, like, Dune guys, and, like, my father-in-law's, like, a Dune, like, expert or whatever. So even though I've never read it, like, I've heard them all talk about it, like, to such an extent that I, like, know a little bit about, like, what's gonna happen. Like, I know the general, like, I know how the book ends, and I know, like, their sequels, and like, I won't say that because I won't spoil it for anyone who, like, doesn't you know, I don't know, but it's
anyways.
But yeah, so they talk about it a lot, so I don't know. But the Bene Gesserit are, like, basically these, like, pussy magic breeder women who basically use, like they're literally using, like, breeding programs.
I hate it. You're right.
To, like,
It's just
breed with, like, powerful people to, like, basically politically influence things by, like, having, like, heirs, essentially, right? Like, getting you know, the bloodlines in order. And the Bene Gesserit essentially were like, Jessica, it's not you, but it's your daughter who's gonna give birth to Jesus. Like, you're gonna give birth to Mary, basically, and then she's gonna give birth to Jesus. And Lady Jessica was like, but I kind of feel like Mary. Like, but what if it's not my daughter? What if it's me? And so then she has, you know, she wasn't supposed to have Paul, but she has Paul. And she was like, but what if we just pretend that he's Jesus? Like, what if we forget that it wasn't supposed to be the next one? Let's just say it's him. So it's, like, very... Like, that's why it's a little bit contentious whether, like, that's why he has to get tested and stuff, because they're like, we don't fucking buy it, because it wasn't, you were supposed to be a girl and you were supposed to give birth to Jesus.
Okay, so was she just supposed to, like, abort Paul?
I don't know.
Or some shit?
Or, like, use her pussy magic to will a girl? I don't know. I don't know enough about the Dune
Interesting.
lore.
What I really want to talk about here, Timothée Chalamet, I agree with you. I think with a lot of, like, good direction, he is a good actor.
I think he's a passable actor.
Passable actor. I think he was so miscast in this movie, it's painful to watch. It's really painful, because I watched, before this came out, I decided to watch the Kyle MacLachlan one, and at least Kyle MacLachlan is a twunk. You know what I mean? Like, Paul can be a twunk. He cannot be a twink. Like, Timothée Chalamet, you can't tell me that this man, this boy, this child, is fighting these grown-ass, like, 6'7" beasts of people and kicking their ass. I don't care how agile he is. I don't care how well-trained he is, okay? It doesn't add up. He doesn't even have pecs, all right? He is flat as a... I could use him as a surfboard. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and, like, I hesitate to even call him a twink because he looks like a they-them lesbian in this movie.
He has hollow bird bones, and that is...
And here's the thing, if he was a they-them lesbian, he would have more, like, weight to stand on, or, like, I would be more content with him being this buff person that can fight and hold his own.
I wonder if he'll like bulk up for any of the future movies. I don't think he
know.
can. I don't know. I don't know if I have a problem with like his body per se, but I just think that it borders on him being a little like whiny at times, where he's like,
Yes.
ugh, I don't want to be a duke, and I don't want to be Jesus. I'm such a little baby, and I don't want to do it. Like, I'm just a little guy.
Yeah.
I'm just a little guy.
You made me a freak, Mom. What the fuck? Like,
But him being like, I don't want to be the next Duke. I don't want to be Jesus. And I'm just like, it is very, I mean, it is like the hero's journey, right? The refusal to the call. Like, we have to kind of get like naive Paul.
It's very Anakin Skywalker of him.
Yeah, it is giving that, especially with all of the sand. But I think what is missing is what maybe we're gonna get in movie 2. And I've heard it's not, like, I heard they're not gonna finish it with 2. I've heard that 3, it's gonna either be a trilogy or like a you know, bigger thing. I've heard, rumor is that it's not, which it's weird to me because the first movie is essentially the first exact half of the first book. Dune, I think there are 3 books, maybe there are 4, but it's the first half of the first book. So arguably, if the second movie is going to be the second half of book 1, then that means that in future movies they're willing to chart into books 2 and 3, which literally goes so wild. Like, again, I guess skip 10 seconds if you don't want to know what happens in like very far down the road Dune sequels.
Yeah, please.
But like,
enlighten me.
Paul like turns himself into a sandworm, so he's like half human, half sandworm, and then he becomes. I'm gonna send you a picture right now of like what canonically he looks like in the second and third books, because he becomes like a hybrid worm human like god, and he like tries to rule the entire like universe because he's like this enlightened worm man. It's whack as fuck.
I hate that.
But so that's where, if they're gonna do all of the Dune books, like, that's gonna be fucking wild, is all I have to say.
I just don't need that. I don't need that.
I've been reading online, and I guess like a lot of people argue that Dune is like an impossible thing to get right for the screen, because a lot of it is super like introspective, very in the way of like a game like Game of Thrones as a TV series. We get a lot of time to spend with each character that we almost get like an inner monologue where you're understanding everyone's motivations and why they're making certain decisions. And we get that time with them because it's an 8-season long TV series, right? And it makes sense because with Game of Thrones, you're doing all this political overturning and stuff, and you have time to sort of flesh out everyone's like motivations and stuff. Whereas with Dune, even they tried to make a TV series out of it in like the 90s and it didn't work, or like the early 2000s, and it didn't work. But it's like almost impossible because I guess so much of this huge book is just like introspection about no, not even like science world building. It's literally like people's thoughts about why they're making the decisions they're making, about like theorizing about why the political like landscape is the way it is and where like why they can do the things, which is just like not super compelling to show on the screen. And that's why I think that's why like the first like hour of this movie goes by so slowly, because they're trying to introduce all these characters to us, but we're never really like getting anywhere with them. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that, like, canonically in Dune, it's just because we're hearing all their thoughts, and you can't, like, put that into a movie. But I'm gonna send you right now what Paul looks like in future.
I was gonna say, I really need to see this.
I'll show it if you're... Oh, also, while I have everyone's attention still, if I do 20 minutes into this episode, instead of saying at the end, I'm gonna say it now. We have a Patreon. Oh my god, so exciting. Not to hard pivot, but we did a Barbenheimer, and we are releasing the 2 episodes about Barbie and Oppenheimer on our Patreon, and also a little video about our day that we had. And also you can watch all of our episodes as videos. They are also all up on the Patreon. So if you want to watch this as a video and see, as I'm holding up to my camera, this whack-ass picture of, like, what Paul looks like as a worm man.
I'm good. I'm good.
I don't think they're going to take it there. I think they're going to just go through the end of book 1, is my guess. But we'll see.
I hope so, because I also, on the same tangent as Timothée Chalamet is like a fine actor. I think Zendaya is the same way. I think she did great as Rue in Euphoria. I think she kind of crushed that. But I think also it is easier for actors to do the big freakouts. Maybe not easier, but I think it is definitely, you get a lot more praise when you're able to do that well. You know what I mean? Instead of like subtle acting doesn't get that much notice. And mind you, she had maybe a handful of lines in this movie. And something about the delivery of them, like, irritated me.
See, I wasn't bothered because it wasn't enough for me to be bothered by. She's in,
it was just, like, her...
It's primarily...
Her coming off kind of, like... She's, like, coming off kind of smart, but she also doesn't have, like, that, like, enough edge to her for me to... It was just kind of... It just felt, like, kind of half-assed.
I think she'll be in the second movie a lot more, so I think I'll have like, more to say about it then. But she's just like in his visions, basically. It's like slow-mo.
Yeah.
Zendaya was fully on set for like 4 days, and she was in every interview and promo thing as if she was like the star. It was like as if she was as important as him. It's just because they're both young and hot and are good at like doing interviews and stuff, which I don't blame.
Is so funny. Because I remember seeing so many interviews, like there was this one interview where Timothée Chalamet starts talking in French because he can and he thinks he's suave probably. Like just praising the fuck out of Zendaya, talking about how amazing and outstanding of an actor she is. Literally on set for 4 days. How many scenes could you have even had together? Maybe 6?
Yeah.
How much could you have actually, like, worked together? I'm confused. And here's my thing about Timothée Chalamet, is he seems like just that fuckboy who will simp for any supermodel.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like, the Lily Rose Depp fucking in the hot tub pictures. Come on.
I was gonna say, when he was doing, like, Bones and All press, when him and Taylor Russell were doing a bunch of press together for Bones and All, they, like, asked him, like, what one of their favorite movies are or something, and she was like, oh, I love Studio Ghibli. Like, they're so, like, beautiful and calming. And the very next day, he posted an Instagram story of him in a t-shirt of No Face from Spirited Away, like flexing, and I was like, you are trying to hit so bad. Like, you're so thirsty, Mr. Timothy.
He is a thirsty little bitch. Am I wrong? Like, that's the vibe that I get from him. Like, I think that, mind you, I have never met Timothée Chalamet. I am more than certain I never will meet Timothée Chalamet. If I met Timothée Chalamet, the only context I think I would want to meet him is on the basketball court with Adam Sandler.
Those pictures were fire.
And I would want to put my entire shoulder into his sternum and feel him crumple underneath me.
Wait, you're so right. I want to play a game of horse with them. I want to play, like, around the world.
No, I want full body contact. I want to feel how fragile he is.
I just want to hear him do that laugh where he's like, so stupid.
I don't know what it is. Like, I like him in, like, other movies, but, like, this movie makes me dislike him because I was just sitting there, I'm like, I wish they casted just an unknown actor. Just any other unknown actor. Because this movie was not very compelling to me. I thought it was beautifully shot. The soundtrack was amazing. I liked the story. But, like, writing-wise, I was like, this is kind of terrible. Not terrible, but, like, dialogue. The dialogue took me out. I watched this with a couple of friends, and someone made a point that every single line of dialogue, half the time, like, almost all of it, sounded like you could have pulled it out of a fortune cookie.
I wasn't as bothered as you seem to be by either Timothy's performance. I thought it was, like, middle of the road. I thought he was serving what needed to be served, and I didn't really have an issue. I do think, like, he's giving early naive Paul, and we're gonna maybe get, hopefully later, like, some character growth, because the only growth he really has is, like, situational. It's like, I don't really know if he changed or if more just, like, his situation changed, you know? But I guess I wasn't as bothered by the dialogue either, because I was too focused on how good everything, like, looked. And I was too, I guess, immersed in the world and, like, trying to, like, piece together what was happening, that I wasn't as bothered by it, but I can see what you mean by it maybe being a little clunky. I think they're also supposed to be talking in like a way because they are like really like high up, like highborn, you know, like kingly people. So they're not like, I could maybe see why that like is a little, make some of the dialogue kind of
even
stiff.
the Fremen, dude. Even the Fremen. It's just an intergalactic thing. It's one of those. You know whose dialogue I could get behind? The fucking Harkonnens. Those are the only ones that sounded like normal people.
Okay, can we talk about Stellan Skarsgård in this? Because
scares the fuck out of me. He's like genuinely scary. I will say, I will give them that. Is the character design in this movie is brilliant. I love it. I think it's a little too on the nose with putting the sand people in the outfits they do.
Yeah. But obviously,
but
like, the whole, like, not metaphor, but, like, the whole thing is so obtuse that it's like, let's go to the desert to frack for sand, the power sand. It's like, you know, of course, and they're, like, using, like, you know, basically, like, Islamic words to describe things in their language, like, letting Lady Jessica wear, like, a headscarf. Like, let's pull it back a little bit.
But no, I think the Harkonnen design is fucking freaky. I think they did it really well, because in the original Dune, it was kind of clunky.
They're just redheads.
They're just redheads and like fat.
Yeah,
and that's
it.
Like,
have acne.
Yeah,
or like some of them.
I was
too,
like,
right?
you guys really didn't. I don't think you did what you thought you did with this one. And then their sting is just there.
So I was looking into, actually, for the trailer for the new one, not to just keep talking about the new one, but, or like,
no, please.
Dune 2, but Austin Butler is going to be in it, which is like...
scary.
And he looks terrifying, and he's clearly a Harkonnen, because he's bald, he's like snatched bald. And he looks really scary, and he's the Sting character. So he plays who Sting played, which I think is really funny, just big, like, in the grand scheme of things.
Well, I think it's interesting, too, that, like, they cast Austin Butler. I'm less mad about them casting him. As one, because they make him look the way he does, which is terrifying. Two, I think he can actually bulk up. And, like, I think the reason that I don't like Timmy in this role is it's just not believable for me. It's not believable. And mind you, it's not supposed to be a believable movie. It's fucking science fiction.
Yeah.
But still, you know what I mean? Like, Austin Butler's, like, kind of a scrawny guy. But I know that man can put on weight, and like I would believe that he could fight someone. It's just it's the fact that in no world do I think that Timothée Chalamet could ever fight someone the way he does in this movie.
When he's like battling with Josh Brolin, and I'm like, be fucking for real right now.
I would rather they brought Taylor Lautner back into the spotlight and had him play this role.
Oh my god. I'm less mad than you, I think, because I think he's supposed to be kind of like scrawny and unimpressive, and it's just like and the only reason he is the way he is because of his like status, right? He's just lucky enough to be born to a duke and a fucking pussy wizard, and that's why, like, you know, that's why he, you know, got trained to fight, but like he's just not built like that.
I'm gonna get the words pussy wizard tattooed across both the tops of my kneecaps.
Pussy magic. But then you're gonna have to like
desert power.
You're gonna have to have sex with Hunter Biden or something then to like work the Bene Gesserit magic into reality. There are like, have you heard about like not conspiracy theory, because I'm pretty sure it's true, but like the like weird celebrity like cult churches where they like basically like selectively breed celebrities together.
Justin Bieber and Haley Baldwin. Yeah,
I've heard that like she was like his like third, like they had set up 2 other matches before her or whatever, that like something happened, but like she was like the
fell through,
like not the first pick or something, which I've heard. But it's like so weird to think that celebrities are like doing that. But I guess if you like look into Scientology, obviously
that doesn't shock me at all.
Obviously they're doing some fucking weird shit. I believe it. I fully believe that they're like selectively breeding celebrities to have nepo babies. Jen, so nice of you to stop by to host Chocolate or Vanilla, your interim podcast segment where you say 2 things and we all say which one we like better. How are you today?
I am so good. How are you guys?
I kind of burnt my dinner a little bit, but it was still okay.
I'm pretty okay. We were just dealing with some technical difficulties, but I think everything's all squared away now, so I'm doing better than I was 3 minutes ago.
Emily, don't break the third wall. We can't tell them this is our third attempt.
Sorry. Everything is fine. Everything is so perfect. I've never been better.
Professional level podcasting, actually. Jen, is there a theme this week?
Yeah, so these are all words that are 4 letters, like Dune.
Dune. Love it.
So, chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate.
Vanilla.
Chocolate. Chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry?
Chocolate.
Strawberry today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go strawberry. I'm gonna end the summer with strawberry, I feel.
Yeah.
Do not say that the summer is over, you sicko. You sicko. It's
A girl at work was like, the kids are going back to school. I was like, what?
It's July. It's July.
Styx or Toto for the bands?
I'll say Styx, because I feel, to me, Toto's a one-hit wonder, but I'm sure that they, in reality, were not. But all I know is Africa, but I know more than one Styx song, so I'll go with them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to join Dara on this one, especially because I fucking love the song Renegade.
Yeah, I was a big Styx fan in the late 80s.
I can see that.
Yeah. Next one. Chip and Dale or Elsa and Anna?
Wow, this is me counting letters. Chip and Dale, because I just cannot do Frozen. It's not for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Dara on this one. I'm more Chip and Dale because I think they're little fuckheads and I like that energy better.
Next one is beer, wine, or a mule?
Ooh, although I love a mule, wine, I would say, has been there for me more consistently. There's also, there's many kinds of wine. I guess there's many kinds of mule, too, but
You can do a lot with a mule.
I'm gonna go with wine, though. I'm a wine bitch.
I was on a cruise recently and I had a mezcal mule for the first time. So good. It was so fire. It's like smoky tequila, basically.
It has a worm in it, and then if you eat the worm, you meet God.
It's not true. The worm is true, but God, I don't know.
It's like you trip. It's like psychedelic if you eat the worm, but you have to eat 100 of the worms, and it has to be all at once. So you have to drink 100 bottles of mezcal and save the worms. Hot tip.
Yeah, and everyone just thinks that they're hallucinating and all that shit, but it's no, dude, you're just drunk.
You're at the
'Cause
bottom.
You just drank half a bottle.
Yeah.
You just drank half a bottle of mezcal. That's tough. I think I'll go for the mule, though. As much as I do love wine, but...
Yeah, I'm going to go for a nice glass of cold white wine right now. Although, I never knew what a mule was until I met Henry.
Oh, yeah. Henry's
Really?
a ginger beer kind of guy.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Cake or flan?
Cake. A flan, I always like it in theory, and it looks really pretty, but I don't want just pudding.
Yeah. I need, texture with my dessert.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna agree with Dara. It's gotta be cake.
Yeah.
Although flan does slap.
Yeah, I'm going to go with cake. Next one is geek, nerd, or dork.
Oh my god, this is some 2012 Tumblr shit where there was the Venn diagram explaining the difference, and it's something like nerds are book smart, but geeks are media smart, and dorks are, I don't even know. There's a technical, certain people will get you on a technicality. But
I just meant the word, the word of it.
I'll go with dork because I think that's the best insult. Being a fucking dork right now doesn't hit as hard with geek or nerd.
I think I like nerd. I think it just rolls off the tongue. Calling someone a fucking nerd.
I'm gonna go with dork. Next one. What do you want in your drink? You want lime, mint, or salt?
Lime. I bring limes to every party, whether I'm asked to or not, and I'm you're gonna run out because I want 3 in every drink, and you do not have the stock to upkeep with my desire for lime.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm a real citrus kind of girly, so I have to agree with Dara on this one. Definitely lime.
Yeah, I'm going salt. I love a rim of any kind on my drink, especially margarita with salt. Makes me happy. Next one is Hiro or Nemo. So Hiro Hamada from Big Hero 6.
I'll say Nemo, because, I was just going to say he's the titular Nemo, but Hero's also the titular hero. So I can't really use that excuse, but I just... Both are really good, actually. I have no reasoning. I'll just pick Nemo because I like his little fin.
Yeah, I'll pick Nemo as well.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hero. I love Hero. Next one is camo or dots.
I feel like camo is one of those things that has, like, circled back around from, like, I think, like, up until, like, 18 or 19, it was definitely, like, if you wore camo, you were a Republican, but then, like, the girlies, like, reclaimed camo, and it's now, like, cute to wear camo, so it's not just for, like, hunting, it's, like, also, like, a fashion statement, but I don't think I could personally pull it off, like, I like it on other people, especially, like, the, like, neon color camo, like, I think that's cute, but I just don't know, it's not for me, but I also think polka dots are ugly as fuck, so I'll pick camo out of respect for the girlies who can rock it.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think camo is very cunty now that it's been reclaimed, and I really like that. And yeah, polka dots. Who's that for? Is that going on my swimsuit in the 1950s? That's about it. So camo, yeah.
Yeah, camo for me, for sweet. Rome, Italy, or York, Maine?
I have never been.
Rome or York?
Never been to Italy. So I can't quite say I know much about it, but I have been to York, Maine. And it's alright. The beach is pretty okay, so...
the zoo?
Yeah, I guess I'll say York, Maine.
I have not been to either of these places, so out of principle, I'm going to say Rome. As long as I can avoid the pickpockets.
Attenzione, pickpocket.
Attenzione.
I'm going to go with York. Next one. You want to go to the cafe or the dojo?
I have never been even close to in a fight in my life. So I get my ass handed to me at the dojo. But I love a little cafe.
Oh my god, what is it? The Dojo Casa house. What's it called?
Oh, Ken's.
Is that from the Barbie movie?
Yeah. Mojo Dojo.
Mojo Dojo
Casa house. Because of timeliness and because I did just see Barbie yesterday, I'm going to pick the dojo.
Nice. I will go for the cafe. I love a good cafe, but Mojo Dojo rolls off the tongue. Definitely. Mm-hmm. Next one is IKEA or Stop and Shop?
Stop and Shop is a local grocery. I mean, I don't know if it's all in America. I know it's a very prominent in New England. I don't know if they have them across all the United States, do they? Do you know this, Jen?
Oh, I couldn't say.
I thought it was, like, a well-known grocery chain.
I don't know. The bitches who romanticize the IKEA date, don't they do that in 500 Days of Summer? And since then, everyone has, you know what? I don't mind it.
Yeah, really slay. I really love the froyo at the end as well. Yeah, IKEA for me. The IKEA date is like okay, like once or twice. It's like fine, but as long as you like actually like end up buying something, like if you like you need to go to be like okay, I at least need like one new shelf,
or like a cheap desk, like something.
Yeah, so now we're gonna make it a whole thing.
Malm.
What's a malm?
A malm is just a bedside table. Everything is always in like Swedish. But just a bedside table is a malm. I own 2.
I'm gonna go with IKEA also. Next one is acne, gout, or lice.
Which is the funniest? Gout. I'm sorry. I made a joke about gout and someone was like, you can't joke about that. And I'm like, I know it's a thing that seriously affects people, but it's funny to say. It's funny to be like, sorry I can't hang out. My gout is flaring up. Like, that's just funny. I'm sorry.
Well, how many people... Okay, I would like to know realistically. Jen, you probably know. How many people are affected by gout these days?
Yeah, gout is not uncommon, and it is very, very painful.
No.
It like it's worst on your foot, like your big toe joint. Yeah, and it's really, really painful.
For some reason, I figured that was like a thing that happened like more in like olden times, like when they got scurvy almost. I was like, oh yeah, I think they've kind of fixed gout. But I guess not.
No, there is. You just take allopurinol. Take a med, but they can't fix it though.
What were my other options?
Acne and lice.
Dara's kind of right. Gout is like the funniest because lice are fucking gross.
Emily, did you ever have lice?
Never had lice.
Wow.
Never.
Lucky bitch.
I know.
I had lice. And
they couldn't do it these days.
Yeah, you'd be
my
all
bald
set.
ass.
I
be fine.
had lice, and my mom, we had to throw away all my stuffed animals and all my like hats and hair accessories because it's like, what if one got in there? You know?
I'm sure you were devastated.
I was devastated, but I was more devastated. She had to use one of those metal combs to like rake through my scalp to like pick them out, and I would just scream like at the top of my lungs because it hurt. And my dad walks in, and he's like not like, this makes him sound like he was like, you know, an intense guy. He's really not, but he walked in because I was screaming bloody murder, and he plugs in his hair buzzer and turns it on, and he's like, shut up or I'm buzzing your head. And I remember, like, I have never been stricken with fear from a threat from my parents ever like that in my life, other than in that moment I was like, I'm zipping these lips.
Well, isn't it like, I mean, I know they have like lice shampoo and all that shit, but I remember being young and like I had friends that they were like, yeah, we had to just put mayonnaise on our head because it suffocates them.
We did mayonnaise, we did like tea tree oil. Oh my god, it was awful.
Dang, you had persistent lice, Dara.
These lice won't quit, baby.
Slay, mama!
I have a lot of hair, so it's like you think you got them all, but like I have a lot of hair.
You have a small colony hiding behind your ear.
It's making me itch right now talking about it. So I too will go with gout for the sweep. Next one is Oreo or Rolo.
Ooh, I love a Rolo, especially during the holidays when people put the Rolo on the pretzel with the M&M on top. That is so, like, prime tier. Like, I know you're not fooling anyone that this was, like, hard to make, and you're owning it, but it's still so good. But I love a Rolo, but unfortunately, consistently throughout time, Oreos slay the house down boots. I controversially do not like double stuff. Well, I mean, I'll eat them, but, like, I'm a single stuff bitch. I just think that the ratio of frosting to cookie is they got it right the first time, you know? But I love crushed up Oreos and, you know, some ice cream, just a little Oreo snicky snacky. It is, you know, potentially the best over-the-counter cookie.
Over-the-counter?
You know, like, you don't bake it.
Yeah, true. I used to really love Rolos as a kid. Like, I remember for Christmas one year, my one of my aunts or uncles got me like a new backpack because I had asked for one, and they just filled it full of like single Rolos, basically.
That's actually really kind of awesome.
It was pretty tough, but they just don't have that grip on me now. And something about like, do you guys ever wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, I need a little snack? And you know what one of the best snacks is for that? An Oreo. So
I actually did that last night with I took like, you know, club crackers, like just the most boring cracker with cream cheese on them, and I just had like 5. You know, you just need a little something to just get you over that hump.
See, I don't like sweet things, but when I wake up in the middle of the night, my body craves chocolate like nothing else. Like if I did this podcast, you woke me up at 3 a.m. and asked me chocolate or vanilla, I would say chocolate.
I'm gonna like show up at your house in the middle of the night and like with a microphone, and I'm gonna shake you, and I'm gonna be like, Emily, we're live. Emily, we're live.
I will also take the Oreo, and I make a killer cookie with Oreos. Yeah, the Oreo chocolate chunk cookies. They're so good. Double chocolate Oreo.
It's a chocolate cookie with crushed up Oreos in the chocolate cookie.
And chocolate chips.
Oh. Yeah, it's very fire.
Oh my god.
And
that's decadent.
They keep really well too. Like, you know when you bake cookies and then they're like really good when they're like fresh and hot, but then like the next day you're like, like this is no different than, you know, Mrs. Fields or whatever. These cookies almost like marinate and get better with time. Like, I almost want to wait a few days, like, because that's when they are the best.
Yeah, gotcha.
Next one is Pear, plum, or kiwi?
I'll, out of respect for our Australian listeners, if we have any. Oh, wait, New Zealand. I'm sorry, that was offensive. New Zealand. If you're from New Zealand and you listen to this podcast, I love y'all. Pick the kiwi.
I'm gonna go... I guess I'll join Dara on the kiwi.
All right, I'll jump on the kiwi train.
Wow.
I'll go kiwi.
Henry will put an entire kiwi in his mouth and just the whole thing at once. Mm-hmm. Like a one bite a kiwi. He eats the fuzzy part too, which I don't know. Is that normal?
I don't think you're supposed to eat the skin.
Henry eats the skin.
It's not normal, but you can.
Henry also eats the apple core.
Yeah.
He eats the whole apple. Like,
that does not sound good.
It's just trash compactor vibes.
Yeah. Last one. Pork or Spam?
Ooh, I like both. I've come around to Spam because, like, you think it's gross and then you eat it in a good context and then you're like, oh my god, this is so fire. It's just salt. Like, it's just salt meat. But, you know, pork, you're really putting a single product up against, like, an entire animal. Any part of pig is pork, right?
It's true.
And I love a pork moment of any kind. I guess part of Spam is probably pork. Who's to say? So if it's, you know, if we're getting technical umbrella term, I'm picking both. By picking pork.
Yeah, I haven't had Spam done well. I'd really like to. So I guess by default I'll just go pork. Even though, like, I like some pork. I'm still not sold on, like, all of it. I think I just grew up traumatized by, like, the pork chop your dad makes for you when you're, like, 10 years old, and then, like, he grills it, and then it's not quite done, and then he microwaves it, and it's just so horrible.
You're not into, like pork shoulder or, like, carnitas on a burrito, or...
I haven't really had it that much.
Wow. Sad.
Only every now and then. I know. I've been, like, slowly expanding my palate since I, like, got to college and moved out of my parents' house.
I will go with pork, because I don't like meat out of a can. But Henry prides himself on making a good Spam.
Yeah. It smells like cat food, or like dog food. It smells like fucking dog food, and it's nasty. And you take it out of the can, and it's like, who the fuck would eat that? And then you cut it up and you fry it, and it just turns into, like, more delicious bacon. Like imagine bacon but saltier. That's what it is. You just have to cook it. You just have to, like... you have to just cook it right.
That sounds hot, actually.
And if you're a hot dog bitch, if you like hot dogs, you will like Spam.
I do like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Got it.
That is it for 4-letter chocolate or vanilla.
Wonderful.
Love it. Making me, like, weirdly hungry now for, like, both Oreos and Spam. Spam Oreos. That's the next flavor when they, like, release those mystery flavors. The mystery.
That's what you'll see. You'll see that on Worst Buy.
Yeah. So true. But Jen, thank you for popping by, hosting your segment. We'll see you next week, and we love you.
All right, I love you guys. Have an awesome night.
Bye.
Bye. Here's the thing. I think I'm mad about... I just think Timothée Chalamet is getting put into a lot of roles that a lot of other actors could have done just as well, if not better, just because he's a big blockbuster name, which, like, obviously makes sense. They want a big blockbuster movie, so who are they going to put the guy... Who are they going to throw in there? The guy that every girl would, like, fall to the ground if they met. You know what I mean? Because they're not going to get, like... I mean, obviously, like, their target audience is, like, probably, like, people that like sci-fi and then, like, men and everything like that. Like, you're not going to get, like, a whole lot of women into the theater, like, stereotypically. Yeah. You know what I mean? Coming from, a fucking big studio marketing team, like, you know what I mean? So they're like, who can we throw in there? Because I doubt that Denis Villeneuve was like... I need this man.
Okay,
I want this one.
It's so funny you say that because that's what happened.
Are you serious?
He built the whole cast around Timothée Chalamet being Paul Atreides.
I hate that.
He cast Rebecca Ferguson because he was like, well, she believably could be Timothée Chalamet's mother. And we've got to get Timmy. Like, it was...
I liked her performance better than almost everyone else's.
Yeah, she was fire as fuck in this movie. Which I liked. I really liked that it focused way more on his relationship with his mom than his relationship with his dad. You get a little bit of that, especially in the scene where they're about to leave their, like, home planet, and he's, like, they're, like, in a graveyard, and they basically have the conversation of, like, hey, if something happens to me, like, you're gonna have to step up and be the Duke, and he's like, I don't really know if I fuck with that, and he's like, well, it's like, so what do you say? It's like, it's not about, like, whether you want to lead, it's about, like, answering the call when it's, like, thrust upon you or some shit like that. That's basically really all we get between Timothée Chalamet and who could never possibly have sired a child who looked like that. Like, I'm sorry they both just have dark curly hair, but look at Oscar Isaac and tell me for a second that hollow bird-boned motherfucking twink came out of that man's sperm. Absolutely the fuck not.
No. No. I love Oscar Isaac, but, like, I didn't need a whole lot of him in this movie. I got what I wanted, and that was... Him naked. I would have preferred full cock, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers,
we can't argue that because he wouldn't have been hard. He was in a dangerous situation, and unless he's into something really specific like that, like, it just didn't make sense for him to be hard, Emily. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to push back on you on this one.
I didn't say hard cock, I just said full cock.
Oh. Redacted. Redacted.
Come on. It could be soft. I don't discriminate.
I also saw a bunch of reviews of people being like, we did not need that nude scene of Oscar Isaac. And I'm like,
we did.
Speak for yourself. I needed it. But yeah, I thought he was...
Again, you're going to get the girlies in this theater with that one. And mind you, it is a gorgeous shot. It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. The way he's slumped in that chair because he's, like, just been, like, fucking incapacitated.
Exactly. Did I perk up a little bit, though, when I saw it? Absolutely.
I think, what we saw of him was enough for me, but I like way more that it explored his relationship with his mom, because I think that they really set up a lot of intrigue at the very beginning with the whole dynamic that, like, she can use the voice and she's trying to teach him how to use it, and there's, like, not only this mother-son thing, but also this, like, almost, like, teacher-student, and then we get the, like, the whole Bene Gesserit, like, she sired basically the heir of who's supposed to be, like, the savior of the world. So there's also, like, this weird pressure that's being put on her to, like, deliver this thing. So their relationship also, like, gets really strained when that comes to light. And I just think that I liked that they explored that as much, because I think that, you know, plot for plot, this movie didn't need to get that deep into it, but I thought that it added, like, it kept me in it quite a bit. And I liked all the Bene Gesserit shit. That definitely was, like, probably my favorite part, especially, like, you know, the whole put your hand in the box, what's inside pain, like, so beautiful. I don't know, so interesting. They used that in all the promo shit, and I was like, oh, you got me. Like, this looks...
Yeah, they did get me with that one. Yeah, except that was the only part in the first hour that, like, really intrigued me. After that, like, dude, it is an hour and a half until the movie starts to, like, really ramp up, and I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Until I'm in it.
Yeah, well, it's basically, like, until, like, the action starts, like, the fighting and the...
Exactly. The only thing keeping me in it before then, or keeping me awake, is the loud-ass sound design. Mind you, it's great. I really wish I saw it in a theater. But the loud-ass sound design of Kurt Hummel just going, ah!
Wait, I'm so pissed that you didn't like that. I loved it.
I loved it. I loved that. It was loud as fuck. But I loved the sound design. It was just loud.
Yeah, that is true.
Loud.
Yeah, imagine seeing that in IMAX.
But that, I really loved the throat singing that they do when, like, the Harkonnen are calling all of the, what is it, like, the Emperor's troops. I thought that was fucking dope.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer put his Hans Zussi into this movie. Yeah. Did this win for Best Score? I feel like it might have. I think this won something at the Oscars. I think it won, like, production design or so. I cannot say for certain, but I feel like it won one of the, like, auxiliary Oscars. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, for sure.
I'm just looking at my notes right now, and I made a note that just said, I wish Oscar had his nipples pierced.
Oh, that would have been cunty.
Right?
Like, the whole thing was, like, his family was, like, bull, like, tamers or whatever.
Yeah.
If he had, like, a little nose ring and, like, nipple rings, I would have been here for it.
Very slay. You know what kind of simultaneously was and wasn't a slay was Jason Momoa without his beard.
Yeah, how did you feel about
What
him?
did you think about that? I don't know.
I he's obviously an objectively
He's still hot.
very attractive man. Like, he's hot. Like, I get it, but he doesn't seem to do for me what he does. Like, when women go feral for him, I'm like, I get it in the abstract, but
like,
it doesn't do to
like,
me what it does to others. Yeah, I didn't really see it. I did think he looked a little, it's like jarring to see him without the facial hair. I thought he was
still hot.
He was serving just about as much acting as I would expect out of Jason Momoa. He's never been in anything to me that he hasn't just given, like, I'm the biggest fucking guy in the room. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's all he does, right? And that's all he needs to do. But you know who's the biggest fucking guy in the room, who I just, like, every time he shows up on my screen, I just love to see it. Dave Bautista. I'm obsessed.
I loved him in this movie. I thought he was perfectly cast. I thought it was great.
So, and he's also hardly in it. Like, his scenes are very few and far between. We do not get a lot of him. Oh, no. But he's so good. I hope we see him more in the sequel, because I think him and Austin Butler are brothers, maybe?
I think so. I believe so.
I, like, literally have a family tree drawn in front of me, but there are a lot of question marks around some things. I know, like, the Baron is their uncle. The Baron is the uncle of Dave Bautista and Austin Butler.
Who is Stellan Skarsgård.
Yes.
Who, again, freaking. The way he floats in this movie.
When his bloated ass just rises and keeps rising. He looks...
I'm like, stop, please.
He looks like a glowworm. You know, like, shape-wise. And when he's in that oil, when he's, like, soaking in the motor oil to regain his bald power...
Not desert power, bald power.
Bald power. The spice is actually the friends you made along the way. The spice was inside of you the whole time.
I will say, though, that my favorite character in this movie was the sand mouse.
Sand mouse? I was going to say the sand worm. The butthole worm. When she pops up and starts pulsating.
Pussy gaped like a sandworm. Tara and I were on the way to the bar the other night, and we just kept, like, spewing, like, the stupidest fucking Chirac on my tits.
And I kept trying to figure out, like, she blank on my blank till I blank, which is just the structure for any, potentially awful
any
joke.
Excellent.
But it's like, she sand on my worm till no, it's just not working. I think the only successful thing, perhaps, is, you want to watch Dune? Nah, Dune your mom.
Yeah, if anyone can come up with, like, a really good, like, she blank on my blank till I blank for Dune, please write in. Yeah. I would really love to hear that.
Question of the week. We'll shout you out next week. Well, at the top of next week's episode, we'll cover the best she blank on my blank till I blank. I would prefer it's Dune themed, but I will accept auxiliary.
If you want to go a little crazy with it, I will accept Oppenheimer, Barbie.
Yep, she's slopping on my top until I Heimer. No, maybe not. She mojo on my dojo till I Casa House. Also no.
But do we want to get into our regularly scheduled programming?
Yeah. So I feel fuck, marry, kill. Do we just want to do Timmy and his two parents? Do we want to do Paul Atreides, Lady Jessica, who is not married to... Wasn't it
Strangely,
Leto?
Leto.
That was, there was that scene where he's like, I should have married you. And we both for a second thought that he was like fucking around and like sleeping with someone else. And we're like, oh no, wait, that's her. And then I had to go in and read. And then I also did accidentally like deeply spoil some things for myself that are definitely going to come up in the next movie about like who's who or whatever. But he doesn't marry her. She's just basically like his like concubine or whatever. She just like happened to like get pregnant. Like they were fucking around, she got pregnant, and he was like chill enough to be like, well, let's like do the whole family thing. But like she's not the Duchess. Like he's the Duke, but she's not the Duchess. But next they also have that scene where he's like, I kept your fucking Bene Gesserit ass around, like stop being fucking shady. And she's like, bet.
She's sorry.
But I'm gonna marry her because I feel because she definitely was giving the most. I also like I want her to teach me how to use the voice so that I can use it on my friends to tell them to like my tweets, you know?
I want her to use the voice on me like in a sex way.
Absolutely.
Like I consent. Really?
It was just scary. It would make me scared. I'd be like, babe, you're really hot right now, but I'm a little scared. It's like
it's obviously consensual, but like she tells you what to do and you have to do it. You know what I mean?
No. I'm like already on all fours. I'm like, you don't need to tell me twice. And then
obviously marry her.
And then I have to assume we're gonna agree here that we're both gonna fuck Oscar Isaac and then break Timothy Chalamet's little bird balls. And then I'm gonna
snap him in half and then feed him to a sandworm.
I loved the design of this movie is fucking beautiful, and all the like scenes of the sand are just like that could get so boring so fast, and yet it doesn't. And the scenes of the sandworm coming up and like sucking everything like into a sinkhole when it fucking swallows the helicopter. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I want to fuck the sandworm. No, I'm just kidding. The Alaskan bullworm.
Literally. So I'm fucking the sandworm.
Yeah. So I'm killing the sand mouse, I'm fucking the sandworm, and I'm marrying the dune.
See, I'm gonna marry the spice, fuck the sandworm, kill the sand mouse.
I'm gonna marry those trees that have to drink 10,000 gallons of water a day. Mm-hmm. The special trees.
I'm actually gonna fuck the sun.
Wait, also, why was I really into those helicopters that, like, their wings buzzed like a dragonfly?
Yeah.
I thought that the design on those were so cunty. I was like, get me a
Are you gonna fuck the helicopter?
No, I'm gonna fuck
the helicopter?
I'm gonna fuck in the helicopter. Because it's gonna be vibrating
You're gonna
just
be like,
enough.
Oh, that'll be nice.
To get
yeah,
me there.
You fuck Oscar Isaac, like, while he drives the helicopter, like he's, like, driving a Tesla, you know, but he's not actually driving a Tesla. He, like, actually still has to pilot it.
I have a tweet in my drafts that I don't think I will ever send, and it's, like, every time I pass...
I like that you'll just say it on here instead.
Yeah, I will. But it's...
you're on your private Twitter, you won't. to, like, the 500 people that'll listen to this.
If anyone is, like, you know, basically an hour into our podcast, they deserve to hear my unhinged thoughts. But it's like, it's not actually that unhinged, but it's just like every time I pass somebody in a Tesla, I just assume you're getting roadhead, parentheses, I'm like, no, JK, you fucking loser. Like, I feel like the whole point of a Tesla is that it drives itself so that you can get roadhead, but yet nobody who owns a Tesla is cool enough to ever receive roadhead. Like,
yeah,
that's my feeling. I also have this theory that no one who owns a Tesla has a dog. Have you ever, can you even conceive in your mind the image of a happy dog sticking its head out of the side of a Tesla? You can't even think of it, because you've never seen it. It's never happened.
I just want to see a German Shepherd in a red pickup truck.
But, like, picture any other car. You've seen a dog sitting, even a Prius. A Tesla, you cannot even conceive. People who own Teslas own fucking geckos. Lizard people own Teslas. Like, I'm sorry, you don't own a dog. I know it. But
out of the movie, though, out of the whole movie.
Oh, that's so hard. I want to marry the Fremen lady who like is the ambassador to both, but she's also like the horticulturalist, and she like has that really like cute little lab. I really liked her.
Mm-hmm.
I liked her diplomacy. I liked how she carried herself. She was like, I'll be the middleman, but like you don't get to fuck with me, and like you don't get to talk to me like you're in charge, because you're not. I really fucked with her. So I would be...
Yeah.
I would definitely...
Dr. Keys.
Even though she got wormed. She got wormed in the end. But I will marry her. I'm gonna kill... See, I want to kill the doctor who betrayed House Atreides by, like, selling them out, basically, to, like, save his wife who's already dead. But I can't even blame him, you know? Like, I don't want to be pissed, but, I'll kill the guy. This is super niche, but, like, what's that actor's name? He's in Suicide Squad, and
the creepy one.
And he played the guy who, like, was one
guy.
of the Harkonnen, but he had, like, a little dot on his lip.
God, what's his name? David I don't even know. Dast Milk King. I don't know.
What is he most famous for? Because it's like right on the tip of my tongue. Because I know of him as the Dot Man from Suicide Squad.
The Dark Knight Rises, he is one of Joker's thugs.
No,
just the Dark Knight. Yeah, just the Dark Knight.
But he was just recently...
And then Dune, then Suicide Squad.
Yeah, he was in Oppenheimer, very briefly.
He was in Oppenheimer,
But I'm gonna kill the guy who was rude to him. When the Gregorian throat singing was happening, and he was trying to talk to the guy from the Emperor's army, and he was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, don't be rude to him. He's just trying his best. That's like a really off the cuff answer.
Yeah.
And then who am I gonna fuck? There's a lot of hot people in this movie. I want to fuck the head Bene Gesserit lady. The one in the scary face mask who has the pain
the
box.
Mother. Yeah.
I want to stick my dick in the pain box. She's like, Timmy's like, what's in the box? And she's like, pain. And he's like, oh, thank God. He starts unzipping his pants. He's like, this is gonna be no problem. He's like, I am pre-coming already. Like, this is, you picked the right guy. You picked the right Messiah.
This is how you can tell that I am the Messiah. I'm also gonna marry Dr. Keys.
Swag.
Or Lieutenant Keys, whatever. Loved her. I'm gonna fuck, shout out Mapes, who was, like, the one that had, like, she was, like, one of the handmaidens in Jessica's room kind of thing, and she was, like, Jessica's like, why do you have a knife? And she said, it's for my God. She was like, okay, fine. And she was, like, really cool. And then she promptly died.
She got God. But do you know that's the queen from Bridgerton?
Yes, the queen from Bridgerton. But I think she's really hot because she's got those eyes like she thinks you're lying all the time. You know what I mean? Gorgeous. I love her. I'm gonna fuck her. I guess I'll just be basic and say Stellan Skarsgård is the Baron.
But if he's like, I'm like kind of into
really
him as a
scary.
villain though. I'm like, can you stick around? Because
I love him as a villain. I like him as a villain. He's good as a villain. He was the villain in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He scared the shit out of me.
I haven't seen that movie. I should watch it.
He's a creepy guy.
Wait, you know who I'm gonna kill? Josh Brolin. His character, who like anytime anyone like wasn't talking to Oscar Isaac with respect, he's like fucking say yes, sir, Duke.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay,
yeah, true. Yeah, facts. Actually, you're kind of right for that.
Yeah, fuck Josh Brolin.
Yeah, facts. What are you going to eat and drink at your Dune-themed watch party?
So you have two choices when you get to my Dune party. You can either eat a foot-long hot dog, because that's the sandworm, and I think that would be really just fun to eat a really long hot dog during those worm scenes. Or, this is like really visually specific, but like when Stellan Skarsgård is in the black oil, I think you can make a beautiful recreation with some pillowy gnocchi and a squid ink sauce.
Oh,
you do like a squid.
That's smart.
You do like a squid ink, like ragu or fucking whatever. I don't know how to cook with squid ink, but I know that's a thing. That, like squid ink ravioli, that's a thing. You do squid ink gnocchi, so it's like these like white balls covered in black sauce. That's essentially what's going on, and could still potentially be tasty with enough garlic. Anything is tasty.
Exactly.
And then to drink, I'm basic as fuck, and I just say you do something based on spice. The spice melange. So you just do some sort of like spiced rum in a drink. I also like tiki drinks that use like allspice, or like falernum is like, or like orgeat. Orgeat and falernum are the two like sort of non-liquor but like syrups that you use in like Mai Tais and shit, and they're like almond but also like allspice and like cinnamon a little bit, and that's why Mai Tais have that sort of like, you know what I mean? So you could kind of do maybe some sort of tiki drink that like has allspice in it.
I can see that. What I'm gonna do is I really wanted something that was kind of like grains of sand, and I was thinking quinoa, but quinoa kind of sucks. But you know what doesn't suck is couscous. So I think you make like a couscous salad. I have a really good one where it's literally just couscous and then like thin cucumbers and red onion and then like honey and cumin and lemon juice and olive oil, like salt, pepper, paprika.
That sounds
gorgeous,
fire.
beautiful.
Pickled red onions? Ugh.
Banging. It's fucking banging. But I also wanted to find, like, a good dry cocktail that you could make. And I found this one called the Contessa, which is kind of like a title, too, which I like. You know what
Contessa.
I mean? Yeah, the Contessa. I think it's just called Contessa, but I'm going to say the Contessa. It's not the Duke, it's the Contessa. But so it's Aperol, dry vermouth, gin, and orange bitters, which is like, it kind of gives me the same feel of this movie, where it is probably good in theory, but like, it doesn't actually taste that good. You know what I mean?
Or you have to sip it. This movie, you also have to kind of sip this movie.
You also have to sip this movie, yes. I would also probably like this with a little more like some lemon juice in it. And I think I would also like something like lemon juice on my Dune. So that's my food and drink. And then what are you going to show your guests as your follow-up movie?
So this is like kind of a pivot, definitely a tonal pivot for sure. But I feel like the same way that like the sand is shown in these like really great, beautiful sweeping shots of the desert, and like the sand just behaves in all sorts of ways that we as an audience get to kind of be immersed in. I feel the same way about the snow in Fargo. That the snow is like the setting of the whole movie, but it's also like kind of a character itself, or also just like it's more than a backdrop to me. Yeah. I don't know, and that's like, I feel like the sand, the snow, I don't know, you can just go through all the fucking elements, watch a movie that's in the forest next or something, I don't know. But I also, you know, do a hard pivot to, it's not sci-fi-y, but it's still like engaging. I also feel like the kind of bad bitch energy that Lady Jessica gives, like, that's what Frances McDormand is giving in Fargo as well.
I am going to go ahead and I want to choose a movie that kind of came out around a similar time. And it's also sort of an unexpected casting of a hero that you normally wouldn't think fits this role. But there's also, like, this movie I wanted more action from, and this one gives it to you. I'm going to say The Batman, the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
You're putting your guests through the ringer, though, because the Batman is also like 3 hours long, so you're making everyone, you're like carving 7 hours out of your day, but I'm here for it. I really liked that one. I forget that we talked about that movie on this podcast. I forget all the time that we covered that. That's one of those ones.
God, we did.
Yeah. Sometimes I go back through like our old like Instagram posts and I'm like, damn,
there's so many movies that I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh gosh, we talked about that.
Yeah. But sometimes people will write in a suggestion. They're like, if you haven't covered it already. And I'm like, honestly, I don't blame you for not scrolling through the fucking 300. You know, I have to control F and search to see if we've covered something before, because I have a single brain cell.
I really don't know.
But I'm super excited for Dune 2. I was really excited to rewatch it, because this was maybe my third time rewatching this Dune movie, and it had Venom in it. So I was excited to revisit it, especially since the new trailer came out. Florence Pugh, Slay My Life. What are we rating this movie? I'm gonna give it an 8. I really like this movie.
I'll give it a 7.
Which, considering you did nothing but shit on it the whole time, and the fact that you're still...
I know, like, I like this movie. I didn't shit on the movie. No. I shit on Timmy.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm curious to see, like, where his career goes post-Wonka, because if it is what it looks like... I don't know how seriously he's going to be taken from now on. And it's not because Wonka's a goofy character, it's because he looks like...
I just wish that they cast Jeremy Allen White and made him, like, sadistic, like the actual original Willy Wonka.
I wish they cast Ayo Edebiri, also from The Bear. I think she would have slayed the house down boots. She's a little unhinged.
Oh my... If she played Wonka, I would
interviews
kills
me. She has the sauce.
I can't wait to see her in Bottoms.
She has the sauce.
Her and Rachel Sennett in Bottoms is gonna send me over the fucking edge.
Oh, who is the football player who's in that movie? Marshawn Lynch. I have such a crush on Marshawn Lynch now because of his presence in the Bottoms movie. He plays like the teacher who's gonna chaperone their fight club.
I thought you were talking about the actual like little football guy that played the football team.
No,
that's Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch is an NFL player, or was an NFL player, and he's gonna be in this movie. And I have a feeling he's gonna be a fucking scene stealer. I have a feeling he might low-key be the best part of this movie.
I think you're right.
But thank you to not 3 separate people, but one individual who requested 3 times that we cover Dune. This one's for fucking you, and we love you. And also, I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. We have a Patreon now. The link is in the description below. It's super cheap. It's like less than $3, so that's like arguably less than most day-to-day purchases you might make. And if you want to hear us talk about Barbie, Oppenheimer, we're also going to do other bonus episodes. We're going to cover movies that you, paying Patreon subscribers, want us to cover. All of that good stuff. We're gonna do all of that for you. So click the link in the description, check it out, see if it's something you might be interested in. Mostly just because we're like, let's monetize the Boppenheimer, you know, let's dip our toes into those waters. Also, all of our other shit is in the description below, all of our social medias, you know the drill. And as always, even though we're ending listener suggested movie month, this is not the end. Please continue, as always, to send us in every movie ever that you think we would potentially like to watch or cover, because we love to hear from you.
This is one of my favorite months we've had in a while, so I really love talking about the movies that you guys want us to talk about.
So many good ones, and we're definitely taking a lot of your suggestions from this month and like either building entire month themes around it, or just like we're gonna incorporate them. So don't think if we didn't cover your movie this month, like don't think your suggestion just got dumped, because we keep them all, and I catalog them in my brain of like, oh my god, that's such a good one. And especially now that we have a Patreon, bonus episodes, we're going to be covering even more stuff. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. We love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go watch the Dune 2 trailer and tell us what you think about Timmy riding that worm, and send us in your I blank on my blank, and we'll pick a winner for next week. We love you all, and goodbye and good night.